Yo, what is up guys, Grim here, and in today's video we're going to do my day 2 recap. We're going to talk about the character, and we've also finished it off, we're going to talk Ultimatum, and we're going to talk things just in general. So, let's get started. We'll start off with Ultimatum. So, we just got off a 16-hour stream and had a big old long sleep, no alarm, just, chilling out, just woke up, it's been fun. But Ultimatum in general, I'm going to go out on a limb and going to say it could actually stand a chance of being my favorite league ever. If you discount the league start, the actual mechanic is genius. There's going to be a clip down below. I highly recommend you check it out. But somehow they have actually achieved that feeling of risk reward. At least in the early days of the league, and I'm assuming for most players, there is actually going to be a do I continue kind of feeling. My character is fairly strong. I would say it's like pretty close to completion. It's completed all content in the game, so I've done Maven, the Feed, all that stuff like that. It's a fairly squishy character, but it does, have a lot of power behind it, and I can do all of the content. And I gotta say, ultimatums, in terms of their difficulty, are right up there. You will need a very powerful character to consistently do all 10 waves in Alkvald maps, or just Alk maps in general. And your choices are massively impactful. To give you an example, in the clip that you go look at down below, I got to wave 10. And I just randomly, well, for starters, let's talk about the rewards. In that clip, I had gotten about 9 Chaos Orbs, I had gotten 20 stack decks, and I had also gotten an Ancient Orb and a bunch of other, stuff like that. So that is a considerable amount of rewards. And I was sure that I was going to, stop at wave 9 and bank it. But then he offered me half an Exalt. And I was like, whoa, oh man, maybe I go for it. And I risked it all. And just like the grinding you did, devs wanted, it was a complete meme fest, and I died and lost all of that currency that I had stacked up. And I gotta say, the fight, it was, the reason I lost is because on the last ultimatum, on the 10th ultimatum, I had picked cooldown reduction. Basically, I think it's like triple cooldown or something like that, and that made it so that my flame dash couldn't come up anymore. And also, I couldn't get my arcane cloak to come up, which is a lot of my characters' like defense and also mana regeneration. Because that gives me like all sorts of benefits. But yeah, like, I didn't have flame dash or anything like that. And then it turns out that this boss has a cyclone, which if you're not fast enough, then it kills you. Well, I'm not going to spoil too much, but it's actually crazy. I died and lost it all, and I felt pretty damn good about it actually. I feel like you're going to need a good character. You'll need a character that can consistently be tanky, which is actually something that's not common too much on softcore. And you'll also need a character that has good clear and good attack and defense as well, which is pretty interesting. I'm not sure how Melee's gonna fare because it was a pretty interesting boss fight, but I'm sure that we'll work around it. Another thing I like is that the boss fight itself cannot be cheesed by Headhunter. Maybe you could do some Vile Breach shenanigans, but in general, I don't think Headhunter is going to allow you to just completely one-shot it. And also, again, you have to build a balanced character. This is a good thing. And I'm glad that it's replacing Delirium, honestly, as a form of endgame. Because, it's accessible to everybody, and it's a lot of fun. Way more fun than, 100% deli maps. The looting isn't tedious. The loot rewards are very high. I think on a time basis, you may get, pretty damn good comparable results if you can run them fast enough. And, it's just a lot of fun. So Ultimatum, I would actually rate it probably a 9 to 10, 9 out of 10 or 10 out of 10 at this point from what I've seen so far. The rewards seem to be insane. I'm just curious of how often you'll be able to get a 10 wave because the reward scale, it seems, exponentially. Like literally, there was like basically the reward just kept getting more and more insane. It kept egging me on. Like say, go one more, go one more. And it really did get me to go all the way to 10, despite me feeling, like maybe I couldn't do it. Yeah. So building a character that can do all 10 waves every single map with, maximum juice is going to be a big deal. Moving on, there's also a loot explosion from Ultimatum. And this is not actually as trivial as I once thought. In a well-rolled map, Ultimatums actually have as many monsters in the Ultimatum as the whole damn map, even with sextants on them. It's completely insane how many monsters are in Ultimatums. It's actually like, doing like 10 breaches, more than 10 breaches, probably like 15 breaches in a full 10-wave ultimatum. It's actually crazy how much loot drops in these things. So, they nailed it. Big grats, clap. Good job, grind year. All right, moving on. Let's talk a little bit about day 2. So in day 2, we kind of woke up. Our character was fairly strong. We didn't have anything crazy. We had 2 wands. We got a 6-link soul mantle, which was my first border call. We got that for about 4.5 exalts. We upgraded from the 5 to 6. And then we decided to systematically destroy every single boss in the game on that 6-link soul mantle. That was pretty much all I had from my character in day 1. And we beat everything in the game with the exception of the Feared and Maven. And then, the executive decision was made and we upgraded the character so that we could do the Feared and Maven, and then we beat the Feared and Maven. So we did everything though before that on just a 6-link soul mantle. And then after the fact, we got a shield, 2 of the rings, belt, and the amulet, and some better rares. And then we did Maven and the Feared. Now, of course, my build recommendation was to use the helmet. The reason I'm using the shield is because the helmet didn't exist. And now I've got the shield, and my character's all set up for the shield. I don't want to like put the currency onus on me and my group to swap my character over to the helmet. But the helmet is absolutely vastly better. It allows you to use 2 wands, which are 30 to 40% more damage, as opposed to 1 extra aura, which is all you're getting by using the shield. So, and also the helmet can be enchanted with Ice Spear, which I imagine will start coming on the market soon, which is another 20% more damage or something like that just from that helmet enchant. So completely insane. Helmet is way better if you can get it. But the character is pretty much done. Maybe I'll swap to the helmet. I'm not sure yet. But yeah, pretty awesome. I'm a big fan of the build. Now let's talk a little bit about the kind of character and how it plays. So this character is a very, very fast mapper. I was looking at some other players' builds. It definitely clears faster than Blade 4 Blade Blast, in my opinion. I think it probably clears faster than the Ignite Prolif Burning Arrow. I was looking at some people playing that. It's very fast. It just goes very, very quickly. And that's pretty awesome for a bossing build. Now, the only downside I have with this build is it's very, very squishy. It has very, very little physical effective health. So when you get hit by something that is fizz, it can just one-shot you straight up, all sorts of things. And also, on bosses, because you don't have any sort of massive defense mechanic like agnostic or some sort of like massive dodge kind of like 75% dodge, 50% evasion kind of thing, you will just die if you get hit. An Elder Bolt in Uber Elder hits you, dead. Shaper Bolt, dead. Feared, if you're not on point when you're doing that fight, you will just brick it. So yeah, it's definitely a completely skill-based character. If you're confident with dodging mechanics, you can do this build and kill almost everything on just a 6-link soul mantle and some good wands. But if you're not confident in your boss mechanics, you may struggle with this build, and I have definitely been feeling that to some extent. When I did a feed mechanic without, at the end of my stream, and I was really, really tired, I was forgetting to put my auras on and stuff like that. I couldn't do it. I just kept dying because, despite my character having way too much damage for it, it's just so squishy that I did just get demolished by tons of stuff like Chayula and stuff like that. Maybe I'll try and figure out how to build some more defensive layers on it, but yeah, it's basically a glass cannon, which really does do tons of damage, have tons of clear. But yeah, if you mess up, you may get punished for it. And that's actually why I don't think it's the best character for ultimatum, but I've been pretty reasonably, probably 60 to 70% success rate clearing all waves of all ultimatums I do. Depends on the roles of the ultimatum and also the maps. But yeah. All right, let's talk a little bit about my next topic here. This will round us out for the video. Endgame and the economy. So Delirium is gone. Massive nerfs to Delirium orbs as well. Let me give you an example. So we thought that, Breachstones are so expensive. Well, let's use some obscure Delirium orbs. Well, their drop table has been nerfed. They now drop Breach Rings, unfortunately. And they also haven't really dropped any Breach Stones right now. So that is pretty interesting. And on the other side of things, though, on good news, Breach Uniques are very expensive. Breach Stones are very special. They're like very, very expensive. I like this a lot. Scarcity is cool. It compels you to do different types of content, and I'm really excited about that. So it's very, very good. Also, as I mentioned, Ultimatum is a challenging piece of endgame. You're going to want to build a character that can tank ultimatums and do those ways. So there is a reason to make a good character. I was very scared that ultimatums were going to be absolutely like a joke, but they're not. They're very, very difficult, and I'm going to put them basically on par with 100% Deli in terms of difficulty on wave 10 or wave 9 or whatever. The mobs are very, very, very tanky, and they do scale with the map mods you have as well. But the rewards compensate you for that, so I'm a big fan of that. Yep, big fan. So overall, economy is in a really good spot. About the only thing I'm not a big fan of, though, is the global uniques. I really do not like those. That's my opinion. But I got an Asylum today from yesterday from a ultimatum loot explosion, and I was like, whoa, that's kind of weird. I thought that they said that wasn't gonna be there in the announcement TLDR or whatever. So yeah, I wasn't too happy to see that. And the reason for that is because those items are meant to be special. They give players an incentive to do those types of content. It's kind of at odds with their whole do the content for the items. I don't think that there's that much gain from putting these items everywhere else, because it's kind of like it makes them no longer special, in my opinion. So some examples of things that are like this, all of the Legion uniques, you can just get them randomly. That's going to completely tank the prices of those, like Darkscorn, you can just get it randomly. All of the Delirium uniques, so I think Asylum, the Chess Piece, Paredify, or whatever, all of the stuff like that. Haven't heard of any voices dropping, but that may be possible too. All of the Elder and Shaper Guardians and Conqueror uniques, I believe, are droppable anywhere now. That is not... I don't like that as much. It is what it is. That's the way they've decided to go, but it does make farming those bosses a little bit less special because they don't have these special things that were all about them, but there it is. Overall, massive, massive props to the team. I really like Ultimatum League. They nailed it. The economy changes overall are a net positive. Everything should be stable for a lot longer. Everything should be worth more for a lot longer, and everything should be pretty awesome moving forward. So if you're thinking you're on the fence about Ultimatum League, my advice would be to dive in. This is probably going to be one of the funnest mapping leagues we've had because there's actual real choice, real risk, and real challenge, which isn't picking up 10,000 items in a map, which is going to be good. All right, with all that said, guys, hopefully you guys have enjoyed. Check out the clip, and also we'll be streaming on Twitch all week, so definitely come check that out too. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers.